Good morning, students. I am Dr. P.S. Kaushik, Principal at the Sri Digambar Institute of Technology, Dosa, Rajasthan. I am taking the subject engineering mechanics. This is my lecture number 19 on belt friction. Today we will be analyzing the belt friction on a flat belt. Let us recapture what we learned in the last lectures on friction. Here we learned about the friction, that mechanism of friction, type of friction, laws of friction, and then definitions in friction, that is friction angle, angle of repose, total friction, cone of friction. Then we solved few problems on blocks kept on horizontal and inclined planes. Then we solved some problems based on ladder problems, then wedge problem. Okay. In the belt drive. The belt drive and ropes are used to transmit power from the one shaft to another by means of pulleys, which rotate at the same speed or at different speed. The amount of power transmitted depends upon the following factors: that is velocity of the belt, the tension under which the belt is placed on the pulley, the arc of contact between the belt and the smaller pulley, and the conditions under which the belt is used. Here the point number 3, the arc of contact between the belt and the smaller pulley. This is the important consideration, because the arc of contact will be less on the smaller pulley. That's why it is being said that the distance between the two shafts should not be less than the 3.5 times the diameter of the larger pulley. If it is less than that, then the arc of contact will be very small and there will not be sufficient frictional force which can give drive to the system. Here in this system, in the analysis, we will be analyzing the flat belt drive. The flat belt, a belt is the power transferring device. Ratio of, we have to find out the ratio of driving tension for the flat belt drive. Now consider a driven pulley rotating in the clockwise direction. This is the driven pulley. It is rotating in the clockwise direction. As shown in the figure. Let T1 is the tension in the tight side and T2 is the tension in the slack side. Theta is the angle of contact in radians. This is the angle of contact, this much. This is theta basically, because the belt is in contact up to this. After that it is free. Now consider a small portion of the belt PQ. This is the small portion PQ, this much, but this is being shown exaggerated. We have to take a infinitely small distance PQ. Let it makes an angle delta theta at the origin. This arc, this is the angle delta theta. Then the belt PQ is in equilibrium under the action of the following forces, that is tension T in the belt at P, the tension T plus delta T in the belt at Q normal reaction Rn. This is the normal reaction Rn, which is at the center. This is a normal reaction Rn, and frictional force F, which is towards the slack side, in this side. This is T2, this is T1. Here, point under consideration is that at point P, the tension is T2, and this changes, that is, this tension is T here at point P, and this increases by delta T when moving from P to Q, and it becomes T plus delta T. Here tension was T, it increased to T plus delta T at point Q. Here again, see the analysis. This angle is delta theta by 2, put total angle delta theta, then from the center there is a normal reaction line like this, then this angle becomes delta theta by 2. Then by geometry you can find out that this angle and this angle are also delta theta by 2. How? Now you see, this angle is 90 degree, this angle is 90 degree, because this any line joining the arc from the center will at the periphery of a circle will always cut the tangent at 90 degree. This is the tangent, and this is the, then this angle will be always 90 degree. So by trigonometry you can find out that this angle is delta theta by 2. Now resolving the forces horizontally and vertically, since this is the case of coplanar concurrent force system. Here since this is the tight side, this is the loose side, so slack side, hence the tension will increase from point at P, it was T, at Q it has increased by delta T and become T plus delta T. Hence the belt will be moving towards the tight side, hence the direction of frictional force at the center of the arc will be towards here like this. Hence now resolving the forces horizontally and vertically, this put a 90 degree angle here, then this is horizontal, this is vertical, its direction is like this. Sorry, resolving the T horizontally and vertically, this angle is delta theta by 2 again, then this becomes T sin delta theta by 2, and this will be T cos delta theta by 2. Similarly, this side, here this is T plus delta T, resolving horizontally and vertically, this is vertical and this is horizontal, this angle is again, this will be T plus delta T cos delta theta by 2, and this will be T plus delta T sin delta theta by 2. This is the vertical component, this is the horizontal component. So summation, this is vertical, resolving vertically, Rn, this is Rn here, then Rn equal to t plus delta t sin delta theta by 2 plus t sin delta theta by 2. Since delta theta is very small, so sin delta theta by 2 becomes delta theta by 2. So we have here Rn equal to t plus delta t bracket close delta theta by 2 plus t delta theta by 2. Now by simple mathematics, Rn equal to t delta theta. Since delta t plus delta theta by 2 is very small, hence it is being neglected here. Now resolving the forces horizontally, now we have mu into Rn, this is frictional forces mu, since the mu Rn, so mu Rn equal to t plus delta t cos delta theta by 2 minus t cos delta theta by 2. Since the angle delta theta is very small, therefore again cos delta theta by 2 becomes 1. As you know, cos 0 equal to 1. So it is nearing 0, so we have considered it approximately 1 in equation 3rd. So mu Rn equal to t plus delta t minus t or equal to delta t. Since t or t cut, this will get cancelled out, this and this. Okay, so it becomes just delta t, or Rn equal to delta t upon mu. This becomes equation 4. Equating the values of Rn from equation 2nd and 4th, we get t delta theta equal to delta t upon mu, or delta t upon t equal to mu delta theta. Now integrating both sides, taking limits from t to root t1 for the belt tension and angle from 0 to theta. You can see this is limit is t2 at A, that is t2 at A, and t1 at B. So integration for belt tension will be from t2 to t1. Similarly, angle is from A to B, it increases from 0 to theta. So the angle we are integrating from 0 to theta, and tension from t2 to t1. Now simple mathematics is left now. This is after integration, this will come the formula, and for base 10, this is the again formula. The above expression gives the relation between the tight side and slack side tension in terms of coefficient of friction and the angle of contact. This much is in your syllabus as per me, because otherwise this belt friction analysis is very lengthy. We can go to any extent, but as a engineer, for basics and for civil and mechanical, this much is the only required. Now few numericals on this. Let this numerical I have taken from Dr. D.S. Kumar, Engineering Mechanics. That is, a belt is stretched over two identical pulleys. The pulleys are of same diameter. This pulley and this pulley have the same diameter. D. The initial tension in the belt throughout is 2.4 kilonewton. When belt is not driven, just it is lapped over the two pulleys, then the tension is measured to be 2.4 kilonewton when the pulleys are at rest. When the belt pulley system is used to transmit power, it is found that the increase in tension at the tight side, the this tension is increased by delta T, and in the slack side tension is decreased by similar amount, that is delta T. Find the maximum torque that can be transmitted by the belt drive. Take coefficient of friction between the belt and pulley as 0.3. This is the very simple solution. In terms of diameter, we can find out the torque transmitted. That is, let increase or decrease in the tension with delta T, then T1 becomes, that is tight side tension, becomes 2.4 plus delta T, and slack side becomes 2.4 minus delta T. Since it is being said that the tension is increased by delta T and similarly decreased by delta T on the slack side while the drive is on. Now invoking the relation T1 upon T2 equal to e की power mu theta. So 2.4 plus delta T upon 2.4 minus delta T equal to e की power 0.3 into theta. Here theta is equal to pi because both the pulleys are of equal diameter. Hence this much will be the arc of contact. This is equal to 180 degree or equal to pi radian. 180 degree equal to pi radian. This much. Similarly for this also, this will be the arc of contact, which is equal to 180 degree or pi radian. So it comes out to be 2.57. Then it is a simple mathematics which gives you the relation T2 equal to 1.34 kilonewton, or T1 becomes 3.46 kilonewton. Maximum torque that can be transmitted by the belt is given by T1 minus T2 into d by 2. Now just for your sake, this is the pulley, this is the tension T1, and this is the tension T2 slack side. Okay. Now net force, which is give this force will oppose the tight side force, that is T1. So net force which is giving drive at the center is T1 minus T2, and the moment, this is the moment center, this is the moment arm, which is equal to d by 2. So moment means torque becomes T1 minus T2 into d by 2. Again, this is the pulley, this is the T1 side, this is T2 side. Net tension which is giving the drive is T1 minus T2, and you might have remembered that I told you the turning moment of a force is called torque. Turning moment of a force is called force, and this is torque. So net torque becomes T1 minus T2 into d by 2. Okay. Now hence T1 minus T2 into d by 2, that is 3.46 minus 1.34 into d by 2 equal to 1.06 d kilonewton meter is the torque that will be maximum torque that can be transferred through this system when the tension, increase in tension in the tight side is equal to decrease in tension in the slack side. I think this problem is clear. Coming to next problem. This again a simple problem. Find out the number of turns A hauling rope must be wound around a rotating capstan in order to haul a load of 3 meganewton up to a gradient of 1 to 1 in 3, 1 in 30. Presume the following data: resistance due to rolling is 0.000375 per Newton load, and frictional coefficient between the rope and drum is 0.35. Full pull on the free end of the rope is 250 Newton. This is the free end. Here the pull is 250 Newton. Okay. Now invoking the relation T1 upon T2 equal to e की power mu theta. E की power mu theta becomes 111. This. Here T1 is 3 into 10 to the power 3 into 0.00375 plus 3 into 10 to the power 6 into 1 upon 30, that is coming out to be this much. Now T2 is given 250 Newton. Invoking the relation T1 upon T2 e की power mu theta, we have e की power mu theta equal to 445 और mu theta equal to log 445 और theta equal to log e base 445 upon 0.35, which is coming out to be 17.42 Newton. Number of turns on the hauling here required is 17.42 upon 2 pi, that is 2.77. Say 3 turns is needed to keep this block in position with the 250 Newton pulling force at this end. Now another example, that is a horizontal drum of belt drive carries the belt over a semicircle around it. The drum has a diameter of 1 meter, and when it rotates 400 Newton meter of torque is transmitted. The drum has a mass of 25 kg and the coefficient of friction between the belt and drum is 0.25. Neglecting mass of the belt, determine the tension induced in the limb of the belt and the vertical reaction on the bearings. Since the drum carries the belt over a semicircle around it, that is angle of contact is 180 degree or pi radian as shown in the figure here. This much is the angle of contact, which is 180 degree. If T1 and T2 are the tensions on the tight and slack side of the belt, the T1 upon T2 equal to e की power mu theta, e की power 0.25 into pi, that is 2.19. From the relation for torque transmitted, T equal to T1 minus T2 into R, that is simply R is d by 2. R equal to d by 2. So this is the torque transmitted. Then T1 of minus T2 is equal to T upon R, that is 400 upon 0.5, that is 800. From the equation first and second, 2.19 T2 minus T1 equal to 800 or T2 equal to 800 upon 1.19, which comes out 672.27 Newton, and T1 comes out to 1472.27 Newton. Vertical reaction on the drum bearing, how much will be? This is the bearing here. This how much usually? That is the net tension here plus the weight of the drum. Weight of the drum is given 625 kg into 9.81. This is the plus this is the total tension. This is T1 and this is T2. Say this is the tight side, tension T1, this is slack side, tension T2 plus weight of the, that is 25 kg or 25 into 9.81 Newton. So this will be the total reaction at the bearings. This is the last problem. Again, determine the minimum value of weight W required to cause motion of the block which rests on the horizontal plane. The block weighs 300 Newton and the coefficient of friction between the block and the plane is 0.6. Angle of wrap over the pulley is 90 degree and the coefficient of friction between the pulley and rope is 0.3. Now, consider this case. This is also a very simple case. This is the block for which the coefficient of friction this is the block, the direction of frictional force will be this way. There will be a frictional force here also, since there we have so first this is a F equal to mu r, this way normal reaction, weight and the T2 tension here. So this weight should be the tension T1 because it is the tight side for the pulley arrangement. For the pulley arrangement here, this is the T1 tight side and this is T2 slack side. This T2 slack side should be sufficient to move this block. Just start moving this block. Minimum T2, this is this T2, so how much this should be? This should be equal to F, that is frictional force, which is equal to mu r. So first find out T2 for by the help of block, which will be equal to mu r, and then this T2 we have found out. Then T1 will be, again we will find out T1 upon T2 equal to e की power mu theta relation. Theta is pi by 2 radian, which is angle of wrap is 90 degree, and mu already given, that is 0.3. So this way we can find out it. Just let us do analyze what he has done here. Since the weight of the weight W impedes the vertical motion in the downward direction, the tension on the two sides of the pulley will be as shown in the figure 4.41 43 here. Now T1 equal to W and mu equal to 0.3, theta 90 degree or pi by 2 radian. Invoking the relation T1 upon T2 by e to the power mu theta, then it comes out to be T1 upon T2 equal to 1.60. Now considering the equilibrium of the block, summation fx is equal to 0, the T2 equal to F is equal to mu r, and summation f y equal to 0 means r equal to 300 Newton. Then T2 equal to 0.6 into 300, then 180 Newton. W should be 1.6 into 180, that is 288 Newton. I think this was a very simple problem. Only thing, as an engineer, you should have some analytical skill. Again consider this arrangement, that this is a block kept on a plane. Then its weight is acting downward, its normal reaction will be acting upward. This is the weight. Then when you move this way, the frictional force will be acting mu r towards left here in this case. Then this is the T2 tension. This tension, this rope is in or wrapped over a pulley which is having a coefficient of friction 0.3, and here weight W is acting downward, which is trying to pull this block, but before that it has to overcome the frictional force of here also. So this is T1, this is T2, which is found out. Then T1 upon T2 equal to e to power mu theta by relation. T1 is, you can find out the exact value, T1 equal to W. This is the last problem of a flat belt running over a pulley 1 meter in diameter is to transmit 7.5 kilowatt power at a speed of 200 revolutions per minute. The angle of embrace of the belt and the pulley is 170 degree, and the coefficient of friction between the belt and pulley is 0.25. If the pull in the belt is not to exceed 200 Newton per centimeter, determine the width of the belt. Again same thing, find out T1 and T2. T1 will be maximum, the this is the belt width, this is the width of the belt. This belt width, how much width should be, so that the tension in the belt is not exceeding 200 Newton per centimeter width of the belt. So you again you have to find out the width of the belt. First find out tension T1, maximum tension on the tight side is T1, and divide by 200, you will find out the width of the belt. Let us see what he has done. Angle of embrace, by dividing 180 and multiplying by, you are converting degree into radian, which comes out 2.965 radian. If T1 and T2 are the tension in tight and slack side of the belt, then T1 upon T2 equal to e to the power mu theta, that is e to the power 0.25 into 2.965, which comes out to be 2.1. T1 equal to 2.1 T2. Speed of the belt V pi d1 n upon 60 we know, then d1 is 1, then pi into 1 into 200 by 60, so 200 is the RPM, that is 10.46 meter per second. Power transmitted is given by this formula. This is the simple formula what you learnt in the your 11th standard physics. How power is rate of doing work, W of P equal to W upon T, rate of doing work, and that's W equal to F into distance. Work done is force into distance traveled, and then divide by T. divided by t. Then it becomes what? It becomes f into v. F into v. So P equal to F into V. And what is force? Net force is tension T, which equal to T1 minus T2. Hence P equal to T1 minus T2 into V. And V is here is linear, then convert it into rotary. How? Consider again. Pi d n upon 60. Now the question, I think this is very interesting question I am going to put up. How many of you are able to answer? Think of yourself. I am asking, what is pi? Pi. What is pi? If you are not able to answer this, then I will tell you that it is the index of or ratio of linear value to the angular value. How? Peripheral distance P, peripheral distance is given by pi d. D is the linear value or E is the angular value of length. So pi equal to periphery upon diameter. This is the angular, this is the linear. So it is the ratio of angular upon linear value. It is applicable in every aspect of your engineering life whenever, and its value is 2.14 14 till infinite. So exactly value is not coming out. So but if anybody asks what is pi, you can say it is the relation between angular value and the linear value of similar dimensions. That's it from my side. Thanks for watching this lecture.